Ako urong dito, and I said I would stake my honor, my life, and even the presidency.
That's a new development.
Retire as a congressman,
No.
congresswoman.
She wants to enjoy retirement.
So neither the budget portfolio or the finance, she's not interested in any of those.
Wala siya nababanggit eh. Pag nagkausap naman kami every now and then, wala nababanggit.
Hindi naman lumulutang yan sa cabinet meeting niyo, sir.
Hindi rin.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Yun muna, sir.
PC, questions for Ina? Questions?
Si Secretary Jokno earlier said that he's hoping for a much friendlier Congress after the midterm elections. Does the PALA share the same view? I mean, are you looking at the...
I'm sure it will be friendlier. I said yesterday, if I remember correctly, that the way he was treated could have been the result of exuberance on the part of the questioner, temporarily forgetting the rules on courtesies of the House.
When House Speaker Arroyo took over, were you hoping for better cooperation, especially when it comes to issues like passing the budget?
Oh yes, definitely. The Speaker has expressed her admiration for the President, her support to the agenda of the President.
But the budget was not passed for 2019.
Doesn't mean that the Speaker doesn't support. As they explain it, there are certain amendments that they need to scrutinize and subject the same to more review. And perhaps because of work in Congress that restricts them from passing the budget on time.
Okay, Nestor Corrales and then Pia Gutierrez. Nestor.
Good morning, Secretary.
Morning.
Sir, you mentioned earlier that the President was, quote, obviously joking, unquote, when he said that Interior Secretary Manuel Rojas was the one who ordered the ambush of former general and now the Bantayan Mayor Loot. So why is there a need for the President to issue such a statement, sir?
You know, Inquirer Net asked for my reaction. And I asked Inquirer Net to give me a transcript. And I read the transcript, and it appears to me, since there was this sound of psst, so it appears to me to be said in jest, given the fact that the General Luot is a pet peeve of the President because he's involved in drugs. And Mr. Luot is a known protege of Secretary Rojas. So I think it was more of an expression of displeasure, said in jest.
Okay, okay. Follow up, Pia.
Sir, kanina sinabi ni Budget Secretary Jokno that the palace is reviewing protocols to ensure na yung poor treatment na nangyari sa kanya sa committee hearing sa House will no longer happen again. So ano po yung mga changes na nakikita ng palasyo? And also to ensure na wala namang crisis or parang initan sa pagitan ng Congress and the palace.
Siguro with respect to questions to be asked to any member of the cabinet, there should be an advance submission of questions so that the member of the cabinet could be ready to respond to the same.
How do we ensure also, sir, transparency, especially dyan sa mga ganitong mga hearings or investigations? Because it might be impossible for the lawmakers to provide an advanced copy of all the questions that they will ask during the hearing, sir.
Well, definitely there is transparency there. And the submission of the question does not restrain them or stops them from asking follow-up questions in relation to the questions previously submitted to the member of the cabinet. But what happened in Secretary Jokno's case was the questions asked of him were not included in the submitted questions. In other words, it was entirely outside of the purview of the questions given him.
Sir, can the palace impose their own protocols sa House? Especially, it is the hearing of the lawmakers and...
No, actually, it's more of an exchange of courtesy between two co-equal branches of the government. More on courtesies.
Kasama dun, sir, possible if they don't like the line of questioning or their treatment, yung pwede pa rin sila mag-walk out.
Of course.
In the
I mean,
middle.
that's the policy of the president. He has been telling all members of the executive branch that do not allow yourself to be humiliated there. And if you are, then excuse yourselves and leave.
Okay, Virgil.
Sir, balik lang dun kay Mayor Luot. You said earlier, yung remark ni President was more of an expression of displeasure said in jest. Can you elaborate on that, sir? Expression of
Meaning
displeasure.
to say, if you notice, in some of his speeches, when drug is the subject matter of his discourse, he always named Lot. At nagmumura siya, di ba? Nagagalit siya eh. Kasi, you know, a president can be very displeased with one of his generals involved in drugs. Kaya galit na galit siya doon. So, that is his way of showing displeasure. He's so disappointed with this man.
Beyond disappointment, sir, di ba dapat kasuhan na lang si Luot? I mean, is there any update dun sa cases to be filed or have been filed against narco generals?
Yes, of course. Except that when you file a case, you have to have evidence to prove your case. And that's the job of those who want to file a case against him. Otherwise, you file a case and then it will be dismissed as useless then. You have to build up a case against a particular accused or respondent.
Okay, follow-up, Nestor. Salary natin, Darrell.
Sir, but do you think it is proper for the president that as an expression of displeasure, he would make serious accusations against Mar Rojas that he ordered, although it was a joke, you said, sir, that
Then
he
if
ordered the
if
ambush
it's a
of
joke,
Lot?
then it's not an accusation. And as the president says, you can't stop me from making jokes.
But do you think this is necessary, sir, for the president to make such a statement?
Whether it's necessary or not, that is his style. And that style has been factored when he was running for the presidency and was voted into office overwhelmingly given that input on his style.
Okay, Celerina. Microphone.
Sir, follow up on that. Given that the president has the power, do you think making such joke could be tantamount to bullying?
No, I do not think so. People make jokes. It doesn't mean you're bullying someone.
But it involves the reputation of another person.
If it is a joke, then it does not involve the reputation because you're joking about it. If you notice, even I has been subjected to the jokes of the president, but I don't mind it because it's a joke.
Oh. Sir, regarding naman the official figure of the government regarding the death toll sa
Death toll?
sa war on drugs, it's already 5,050 since July 1, 2016 up to November 30.
Which is way behind the 30,000 that's being spread by some false news agencies.
So it's small. How do you view this? Is it small or big?
But you know, the number of deaths occurring in drug-related cases will depend on the circumstances surrounding the arrest, the by-bus operation. You know, I've been reading reports, and I'm even amazed at until now there have been many by-bus operations all over the country. Ang dami pala, nagugulat nga ako. Talagang grabe. So kailangan talagang the fight against drugs should be unrelenting.
So that death toll, how do you view that?
It means that the people involved there are resisting arrests or using violence. That's why in the process they are given the consequent violence coming from the police officers.
Are we expecting more deaths?
Plus, I've been saying that most of the drug-related cases of so-called extrajudicial killings are coming from the members of the syndicate themselves.
But sir, this is the official figure ng government. So are we expecting that the figure could still increase until the end of the president's term?
Depends on how those involved in drugs will respond to operations against them. They become violent, necessarily the result will be violent too. What you sow, you reap.
Thank you.
Okay, follow up. Pia.
Sir, if you said that the joke was to express the president's way of expressing displeasure kay Mayor Vicente Loot, then why Mar Rojas ang itinuturo niya?
As I said, Mr. Lot is known to be the protege of Mr. Rojas. In other words, if I were in his shoes, I would be maybe using the same. Para kumbaga, kinakantsawan ko si Mar. Ang bata mo involved sa drugs. Bakit mo pinabayaan yan? Parang ganun yun. Parang ganun ang dating.
Could politics be a reason, sir?
Kumbaga, kantsaw yun eh. Wala, ano lang yun.
Okay, last two. Last two na tayo.
Henry.
Joyce, then Henry. Hindi na ikaw, Joyce. Okay. Joyce, sorry. Henry and Ace and Rosalie.
Sir, ito daw si Acer yung hinahanap.
Oh, Acer! You're there!
Secretary, yung kaso ng pagpatay sa bodyguard aide ni Attorney Glenn Chong, umabot na ba yun sa Pangulong Duterte at ano ang sabi ng Pangulo rito?
We haven't talked about it. But I suppose it has reached him.
So wala pa siyang sinasabi, wala pang utos kung
Well, the police agencies are doing their work with respect to that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Ace, then Rosalie, and last question na si Joyce.
Sec, could you clarify please yung comment ni or yung remarks ni President Duterte about showing no mercy for NPAs? Ano ibig sabihin nun? Is he still open to peace talks given that statement that they do not deserve mercy because they're involved in banditry, in criminal activities?
It only means that he is going to respond in kind. I don't know if you've heard of it, there have been recent ambushes. In fact, yesterday, there was again another ambush of a police station somewhere in the Bicol region, I think. In other words, remember they said that we're going to have a truce, Christmas truce, and yet look at what they're doing.
Pero hindi pa naman nagte-take effect yung
Even
yung
then,
truce nila.
if you're going to have a truce, you might as well
rather.
show your sincerity by not doing anything contrary to what your intention is.
So go pa rin po yung peace talks. Possible, open pa rin
The
tayo.
president is always open to end bloodshed in this country. He doesn't want any killing among Filipinos. But for as long as they violate the terms of a peace talk, then the president will never allow it to happen.
Sec, isa na lang. Can you clarify yung comment ni Presidente na he will hamlet yung mga lumads?
Hamlet?
Iha-hamlet daw niya yung lumads. Supposedly to protect.
When did he say that? I didn't
Parang
hear.
igagather niya in certain areas to spare or protect them from the influence of the NPAs.
Perhaps what he means is that to protect them, to shield them from harassment or from undue influence, from indoctrination coming from the left, then he will do it for their own good and safety.
Meron na bang concrete acts ngayon yung security forces to implement that or other government agencies?
I need to ask the Department Secretary of National Defense about that.
Thank you, Sec.
Okay, Rosalie, and then last question si Joyce.
Sek, tanong lang po namin yung status about sa rice tariffication bill kung ba't di pa po napipirmahan ni Pangulong Duterte.
It has been submitted to the Office of the President. I suppose it will be signed at a time.
Do we expect within the year or next sa first quarter na
Let's
ba?
see. If it's there, it will be signed.
Bakit po na bibinbin, sir? I think early
Siguro sa dami
November.
ng trabaho ni Presidente, ang dami ng trabaho sa Presidente, di ba?
Pero priority po niya yung, di ba, siya po nag-certified as urgent.
Yeah. We'll be signing that soon enough.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, follow up, Daryl.
Sir, sabi po ni Sec Piñol, one of the implications of the passage of the rice tarification bill is that NFA will no longer sell NFA rice.
27 pesos
Yes, sir.
per.
So, mas mataas na po yung price. So,
Kasi nga,
sa tingin niyo-
niliberalize mo na yung
Opo. Ano
market.
po ang magiging reaction ng palasya sa possible backlash nito from the public, especially those who are umaasa po sa murang bigas po?
Well, pag niliberalize mo naman magkakaroon ng competition in the market. So, magpapababa sila ng presyo. Otherwise, hindi sila mabibili. Di ba? Kaya nga, law of supply and demand yan.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, last question, Joyce Balancio.
Sir, do you confirm magka-courtesy call si Catriona Gray kay President Duterte tomorrow?
Tomorrow ba? Parang...
Or anytime this week
Yeah,
or next
ang
week?
alam ko meron.
Kailan, sir?
Hindi ko lang alam specific date. But si Secretary of Tourism, Berna said, definitely courtesy call.
This week, sir? Next week?
O, di pa open natin.
Sir, this week, next week? Kailan po?
As soon as she arrives. Hindi natin alam kung kailan ang dating niya. Nga, mamaya ba? Ayan. We will issue a statement. Tanungin ko si Secretary Berna kung exact date plus the request of MPC to be present.
Open, sir. Open to media.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, and now that you mentioned Catriona Gray, I bumped into Cory Quirino last night in an event. And we were talking about Miss Universe. You know what she told me? You have forgotten Catriona Gray, Sal. Sabi ko, why? You were one of the judges at the Miss World in 2016, and you were telling me that your choice and most of them there, ang choice namin pala si Catriona Gray. Kaya lang somehow natalo kami sa botohan. Sabi ko siya pala yun.
Yeah, she won.
Hindi, number 4 siya. Number 4 lang siya sa Miss World. Hindi, dun sa, dito. Kaya siya pala yun.
Okay.
Kaya pala sabi ni Dr. Panelo, sabi niya yun yung ano, hindi ko naman siya matanda.
Okay, naka-live pa tayo ha. Okay, thank you. Thank you, MPC. Thank you, spokesperson Salvador Panelo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Malacañang Presko. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.